I am Lori Jo Vest. I'm the founder and the partner with my husband of PopSpeed Digital Marketing LLC. We are a digital marketing shop primarily focused on social media. However, we also offer support services in SEO content, email marketing, and website development and maintenance. Because we found a lot of our clients need that whole suite of services. But we really live to support the marketer. We support busy marketers who may not know the ins and outs of social media. They may not know that, yes, you can get results, you can get ROI from your social, and maybe they've had a bad experience with it by giving it to the intern. And then they come back and say, social media doesn't work, but I got to be there and I don't know what to do. So we live to serve those people because we are on social media every day. We really love it. We have grown in the last 6 years from myself and my husband to a team of 5. We're all remote. We have a very unique culture in that we do really prioritize our team and their happiness. And I think Kiley can speak to that as well, because the happier my team is, the easier it is for them to do great work. We like to form really strong relationships. Some of our clients have been with us for really long time.
I was PopSpeed's first hire in late 2020. I started part-time contractor, went full-time a few months after that, and then recently we were able to, full-time staff, me and another one of our team members, which has been wonderful. I am a digital marketing specialist with PopSpeed. I focus a lot on social media. There are some other buckets that we do. We do newsletters, we do blog writing, SEO optimized. I always say SEO optimized. I think that what we've built internally really shines in our work output. Like, we do good work because we're happy with each other and know we're supported and empowered, and it's really awesome.
Okay, I used to use Sprout Social. I found Sprout Social to be very expensive. I don't know if they've come down in price because they have more competition. And we were working with them for a while. And then we were using Buffer. I've used Hootsuite. Loomly came to us through a referral. I'd never heard of it, never seen any marketing material. And it was probably, how many years ago, Kiley? 4, 3?
It was when I first started, we were using Buffer, but we were kind of growing out of Buffer. It wasn't as user friendly, and me at the time I had no other experience with any other system and just knew it had to be done better than what we were doing. So we switched to Loomly, I think late 2020, maybe early 2021. And since then, it's really it's grown alongside us. It's so user friendly in the sense that going from 6 or 7 clients, and now we're far and beyond that. So it's been a really cool and very easy way to kind of have a system that allows us to grow without making any major changes. Because I think we've talked about it before, like that's the one system that we can't change because we know it well, we love it, and I think it makes all of our lives much, much easier with social content.
And it's not that we don't consider, because we do. We always, is there anything different about this new thing coming? Is there anything different about this new thing coming? And we've just not seen anything that we thought could replace Loomly. It gives us some really good analytics reporting. Very, very, very rarely does anything fail. And I've had other scheduling where it just fails and you don't know that it failed. Where Loomly notifies you right away if something needs to be posted manually. You've got the app too, so if I'm out somewhere and I see it failed or I need to post manually, it's done. So we found it to be really robust, and I really liked that. The ability to see calendars in so many different ways, the ability to have the client come in and invite them into the account without having to pay for another seat, letting them kind of get in and do their thing, the different categories of scheduling. You can give somebody just the ability to schedule, the ability to schedule and approve. The levels is really nice. And I think the fact that we met somebody from Loomly and developed, had a call with someone there and heard more about Loomly, it had us feeling more connected to Loomly. And also the ability to say, hey, have you guys thought about adding this? We noticed that this being able to schedule to LinkedIn groups And she's like, we're going to add it, talk to the team about it. So we feel like we kind of have a pipeline in to say, here's some of the things we might want, and that you're listening. So that was cool. Let me tell you something that happened a couple of weeks ago, and it was really funny. Is we had a client that wanted to be invited into one of our accounts, and I went to invite her in, and I was using the wrong email, and I didn't know it, and I couldn't get her in. So I chatted, used the chat help, and within like 15 minutes, somebody got back to me and said, "Hey, I checked, and that email doesn't exist." And I was like, "Thank you, I'm an idiot." But they didn't make me feel stupid, but they actually went as far as to check to see if it was a real email. And then got back to me so quick that I could fix it, not tell the client that I'm stupid and don't know her email address, but was able to just quickly resolve it. So got a hold of the tech help. We're good to go. Here you go. And that is hard. That is not common with a lot of the online platforms, and we use a ton of them. I mean, and I'm sure it's not 15 minutes all the time, but anytime we've had to use it, it's always been really responsive. So I love that about Loomly. Mm-hmm. I have to use Hootsuite for another client, and I don't like it because they have their own account. And I'm like, oh, I don't like that. It's not fun.
I think my biggest one, you kind of briefly mentioned it, Lori, is the analytics reporting. I think it makes, because obviously, we'll do analytics reporting for every client and at least dig in pretty often to stay up to date with what's working, what's not, It makes our lives so much easier to be able to just go into Loomly, completely customize the time frame that we want to look at, the type of post that we want to look at, the ability to tag the post, and then look at that. We've done that before where we do a series of sponsor posts for a client, and then we need to do a specific analytics report on how well all of the sponsor posts did. And the ability to just look in the last 4 months and only look at sponsorship posts as opposed to going through every single one and individually tracking and reporting. It is such a time saver. And even just the full reports that you can download month by month to kind of look over and see channel comparisons and type of post comparisons and every single metric under the sun. It's I think far and away my favorite feature. It makes my life so much easier.
One of the things that I noticed right away with Loomly and that I see consistently is the user experience. The UX design is really good. It's user friendly. It's really, really seriously easy to find what you want to find. I'm sure I'm ADHD. I do not read manuals. I do not watch instruction videos. I dive in. And when I want help, I want it to be written so I can look at it quick and get out of there instead of having to watch a video. So the UX, the just general UX for the Loomly dashboard, the whole system is so easy. And little tiny details I got a whole column of information. I've got every post lined up and I can see each post, all the little different things from impressions and engagement percentages and all these things. And then you scroll to the bottom where you see the total and the top freezes and you can see what line is what line. Believe it or not, that is not common on a lot of platforms, that those tiny little details are handled in a way that makes it so easy for us as the users. And I found Loomly to be one of the most nicely designed from a UX perspective.
Something that I think I would say our overarching KPI is for each client ROI. Obviously, more specific KPIs vary client by client. It varies for our internal marketing and social media efforts. But I think ultimately, our focus is results and ROI. Loomly is supportive of that, not just analytics. Obviously, it helps us keep up with those KPIs by being able to review the analytics very specifically and every day and with such ease. It's one of the very few platforms that we use on a daily basis that we know we don't have to worry about. I think each of our strategies are different and our KPIs are different, and being able to spend so much time on a platform that makes your life easier, that you don't really have to think twice about, gives us more time and freedom to focus on results, ROI, and achieving that for ourselves and for each of our clients.
Engagement isn't enough anymore. People aren't really interested in how many followers, how many likes, how many shares. Our clients want to know how many leads did you bring in? How many volunteers actually clicked through? They want not only ROI, but they want conversion. So even getting leads isn't quite enough. They've got to be leads that convert. Social savvy organizations know that social can deliver ROI. And so they want their providers like us to deliver click-throughs to the landing page, sign-ups to our workshops, donations to our organization, more sales. It's different than it was 2 or 3 years ago. So the way we get that kind of thing is to continually look at what we're posting, look at the back end, see how it's performing. We do a lot of promotion. Our promotion budgets are getting bigger and bigger. And we're always just looking at that back end, and it's just so easy to do and to see who's actually clicking and then watch what's happening on the other end. So it's very results oriented, like where it hadn't been 2 to 3 years ago. So it's really changed.
Yeah. I think kind of building on that too, another good example of how Loomly is such an asset in helping us build our strategies and define our KPIs is how in depth the analytics go, because it's not just engagement, it's not just clicks, it's not just video views. It shows us the time that our audience is online and when the best time for us to post is per each client. It shows us if our audience that's most engaged is male or female. It shows us the geographic location of the majority of our audience. So I think that's such a key factor in building strategies and evolving strategies and all of those things. So I think it really helps us to kind of define those KPIs and really hone in on the best and quickest and most efficient way to achieve that ROI that we're so focused on.
It's pulled right in front of you, so you can see it right away. It's like you guys knew what social media people wanted to see.
We've grown with Loomly at a crazy pace. I think Loomly is a big part of the reason we've been able to do that pretty seamlessly, because the feature that comes to mind mostly is how easy it is to create a single post and then customize it to each channel without having to do it over again, or being able to come back to it frequently. And like the editing process is so smooth, and there's so many features that make it so simple. And I think it's a very strong part of why our content is able to be solid, because we're able to take time that otherwise we'd have to put into, you know, focusing on like the back end of editing or customizing per channel or typing out the same hashtags over and over and over again on Instagram. We're able to take that time that we save using such a user-friendly platform and put it into re-looking at content or choosing, okay, maybe like this better speaks to our audience on Instagram, but this better speaks to them on LinkedIn or something like that. We're able to save that time and then repurpose it into amping up our content, which is a big piece of why we've been able to grow at the pace that we have, because we make good content, and Loomly really helps us be able to focus on that.
What we have found as an organization is, instead of using a big CRM, if you want good results from your social, a social dedicated platform is so much better. I had to use Go High Level. They make it difficult to get your media assets up where they need to be. Some of them won't even accept video. If it's not on YouTube, you can't share it. One of them right now, Go High Level, just keeps connecting the channels randomly, and you don't get any notification, so you don't know what happened. And 2 or 3 days go by and you go, oh, look, it didn't post. And you go in to figure out why. Well, it randomly disconnected. So there's a lot of those kinds of things. A lot of clients that are trying to use CRM platforms for social. And while a CRM platform may have a social component, it's not anywhere near as capable as a social only tool that is deep. And so I've had kind of this weird experience, and always come back to Loomly.
I think another piece of that too, what you said, Lori, just kind of made me think of it, is the fact that Loomly will notify you if there is an error, whether a channel did happen to get disconnected or a post does need to be published manually, or I mean, anything of that nature. We don't miss things like that, and we don't have to worry about missing things like that, because we know the platform's like on top of it and is going to tell us if we need to jump on something. So it's pretty stress-free, because we have some other systems where We have to work internally. Okay, how do we make sure things don't get missed? And Loomly's not one of them.
We have some clients that we do an outline and we get approval on all the content. We post all the content at once. It plays out over the month through Loomly on its own, whatever. And then we have other clients. We have one in particular. We love her. It's amazing. But she actually likes to go through every post with us. Every single post, every week, we go through that week's posts. And then she just isn't quite comfortable like that she's going to immediately approve it. She likes to consider it and come back to it. So our copywriter will make the changes in the meeting, and then she'll tag her and she'll go in and look at it, make her own changes and approve it to go. So for a client, what I thought was really interesting is I was able to invite a real hands-on client into the tool, know that she was only going to see what she was supposed to see, and also that it wouldn't take her a long time to learn to use it. She would get right in there, just like I do, just get right in there and start using it. And she loves it too. It makes it really easy for us. It makes us easy for our team member that works on her stuff. If she's doing like an ad hoc post that just popped up, she can just put it in there, tag Julia. Julia gets an email. So she knows it's there. So that notification thing is really important, and it works really well. I mean, it's rock solid. We've been working with this client for about a year, and Loomly has facilitated serving that unique way of working that client likes. Made it really easy. It's not like we have to keep having meetings. We can just pass it back and forth, and it's easy and seamless. And that's really important.
I think another example that comes to mind for me, and to be honest, I don't use it very often, but the post ideas feature. A lot of our clients, the content that we publish month over month is pretty regimented. But then there, on the flip side, there are some clients, a handful of our clients, we do the founder, leader, program manager, like the leader of the organizations will do their social too. Even I've used it sometimes for our PopSpeed social as well, where it's a little less regimented and there's less things that need to be put out on social media, and we have a little bit more freedom and leeway. I love that feature, and sometimes it's not that I forget about it, it's just that I don't use it a lot, and I think that's like the definition of a hidden gem for me. And then I remember it and I'm like, oh yeah, like if my brain is mush at the end of the day and I need like an idea, Loomly's got me. So
I've always said, because this is how we run our company, that it's the people behind the brand that make the brand. And so while Loomly is a hands-free, easy kind of tool to use, it's when things happen or when you have an idea, you'd like some feature added, it's frustrating that it won't do this, we've got somebody to go to. We've got somebody that we can say, can you help us, or is this something you might add to the tech list or whatever? And the fact that we could actually have a meeting and talk to her and she was not rushed, or it wasn't some tech help in some other country. It's just really feels more personal. It feels like we're getting to know Loomly and getting to know the team behind Loomly, which creates a stronger connection to begin with. And it feels more secure that we're going to be able to get what we need. And if we have problems, they will be resolved. So that to me is part of the personal aspect of that I really like.
One other thing that comes to mind for me is, in that initial conversation that we had, we were able to ask questions. Is it possible that Loomly incorporates this? No, okay, cool, good to know. Or, oh yeah, we're working on that. Like, to be able to kind of have dialogue where our input or feedback or questions are really heard and so well responded to, I think it makes us feel more connected. To feel like we have a say and a voice in the system that we've used for such a long time is very cool. But to also, in that conversation, I learned a lot about what's possible and what's not. So to kind of know that a little bit better, I think is good knowledge for anybody in social to have. I think the first thing for me is just the fact that we really had, I think we've had to up our membership a couple times. Just the fact that we've never run into a situation where we feel like we're outgrowing the platform. For us, business seems to come in waves where it all happens so fast and at once, and to feel very secure in the fact that, okay, we're bringing on 4 new social media clients right now, but we don't have to learn a new platform because Loomly, like, we can grow with Loomly, has been very reassuring, because I think, as anybody in any industry knows, growth at the same time as learning is very difficult. So to have to learn new clients and new platforms is overwhelming. So to not have to do that and to be able to grow alongside the platform has been really fun.
You guys have been on top of like the new things coming out too, like TikTok. When TikTok came out, it feels like you keep up with the technology and the different channels and things, so we're not trying to figure out how to do it on our own without support. There's a lot of different pieces and parts, like just small things. Going from, I just went and counted, from like 6 clients to 21 is a pretty big deal. It's like there's a lot more there. I agree with Kiley. If we had to reinvent the wheel, if we had to, we know setting it up is going to be like this, it's going to be easy peasy, and you're going to be off and running. There's no big lag time setting anything up, and there's no real difficulty with the new technology. That when Reels came out, when TikTok came out, it's all there. So you don't have to try to figure out how you're going to do that. So
I think another point to that too, which to me, I'm obviously in the digital space, like I know enough about technology to get by, but in terms of like the back end stuff and all of that, I would have expected it to be really difficult to connect accounts to Loomly, and it is the easiest process ever. So to know that when we bring on a new client, particularly one in social media, that they're set up, and like if we need to get them boom, like up and running really fast, that is just not a problem, has made growth more seamless.
Yeah. Bulletproof. It's bulletproof.
Yeah, bulletproof.
I'm serious, it's bulletproof. We really do we just don't even think about it. It's just there. We don't even have to think about scheduling. It just happens. So yeah, it's good.